Hello, this is Roger here. Hi, Fajardo, how are you? I will be in charge of responding to your third extended reflection. Ta-da! And since you recorded your third extended reflection through a video, I decided that it would make sense to respond back through a video. So, we're here at the office in Costa Rica, Central Hospital Mana, where Amanda, Mary, and I work from. So, there's a little bit of the office in the back. The school on the other side, it's dark, so you probably can't see much. So, in your reflection, I want to go through I took some notes, and I want to go through a number of ideas that really stood out for me as I listened to you in your reflection. The first one is definitely when you talked about that whole idea of how you thought of the teacher initially as the this almighty being who is in charge and in control and dictates, and I'm adding a couple of words there. But I got that impression, and you saying almighty. And then going from the almighty being to a teacher seen as a human being who also makes mistakes and who learns from the mistakes that are made. And I thought that was a very, very powerful thought. And I was really excited to see you talking about that. And I think it's really easy as teachers to feel that sense of control and that sense of I'm in charge when we are put in front of in a classroom in front of a number of students, and we're supposed to lead them and guide them and create learning. And I think that was also true for me, and has been in the past, where I get stuck in that feeling, and I think it makes lots of sense to stop and think about that and say, you know what? No, we are in this together, and if learning is the center of what we're doing and the center of the classroom, then everyone around it has their role. Students, the teacher, the community, parents or friends, admin, but the center is learning, and the big question I ask myself then is, what can I do as a teacher to help facilitate and create opportunities, possibilities for the learners and myself as a teacher to learn, make mistakes, learn from that, and continue trying in a way that is safe for everyone. So thank you for that beginning thought in your video, because it got me really thinking about how easy it is to feel almighty and what our role really is. Good. And I think that thought for Fajardo definitely deserves some mate. I have Laura sitting right next to us. She's another trainer here at the school, and she's from Argentina, and of course she drinks mate, and she's got me addicted to it. So there's Laura. Say hello, Laura.
Hello. Here you are, some mate.
And since she's drinking some, I thought I need some, and that thought of yours deserves some un brindis. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Okay, back to the reflection. I think it was really great to hear that you've felt that both ECRIF and PDP have been meaningful learnings and tools that you've gained on the course, and I love to see in the future how they evolve and what they become for you in the classroom, and how they continue serving learning. So please do shoot us emails in the future, letting us know what they become for you and your students. Another idea I thought was really interesting was when you started talking about the description piece of your DAPA, and you were talking about how you were modeling something, and there were students in the back talking, and how you felt that it was a little bit distracting, but you kept on modeling. You wanted through the modeling to see what they had to do, and maybe they'd come back, their attention would come back. And number one, good job describing and adding details both in terms of what you were doing and the students were doing. I had a clear picture of the moment you chose. And then you talked about how something that hindered was that you didn't have their attention and they were distracted. And I can see how that can be difficult, because if they're distracted, maybe other students are distracted because they're distracted, and then you kind of lose your center because you're thinking about them not being distracted, and how that can be a hindrance pretty much for the entire moment. And I think what you were saying in your interpretation about how as teachers we kind of know that. We know that we need their attention, but still sometimes we forget that, and we're in the moment, and then we didn't notice that someone was not paying attention, and we may lose the entire group. And that really, I think that happens to all of us. I agree. And sometimes it's just a matter of I was in another video I was recording with Hector. I was talking a little bit about presence, and I think it is a matter of stopping for a second and becoming more present and aware of the moment and what's happening. Okay, I'm gonna give these instructions. Do I have their attention? And sometimes just breathing for a second, or stopping yourself and before you give instructions and telling yourself, pay attention, see what's going on around, I think can really help us think about moments like that and really realize if we have their attention or not. So I think it was something really helpful to think about, and also thinking about strategies in terms of, and in your generalization, you talking about how it is important to make sure people listening, and that the modeling that you're trying to do really is effective. And then your action plans, I think it's important to think about when you're thinking about strategies for getting their attention. And my encouragement would be to try to make the strategies a little bit more concrete, more specific. What is one or two things you can do specifically in order to help this theme of getting their attention? And one might be what I just mentioned in terms of every time before I give instructions, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pick up my head and look around to see if I have their attention, and maybe not start and just with eye contact look at everyone. And when everyone's looking, then I might start. Or it might be a strategy like the one that we use in the course all the time, where we raise our hands, and as we raise our hands, we want to see if they are paying attention to us, and then they also raise their hands so that we're all paying attention. So that might be another strategy. I encourage you to continue to think about other ones, and I'm sure there's a number of fun and helpful things you can use. And I guess to end, there was one last thought you said at the end in terms of what you really learned, and you said something about becoming less teacher-centered and really helping your students take control of their learning and become more autonomous with their learning. And I think that's really effective, and I think they go together, because the more teacher-centered I am, the more I'm giving the students the information and giving them the knowledge more directly, and less they have to do on their own for their own learning. And I think if I am going to become less teacher-centered and get the students doing more, they will feel like they have to be more responsible and take control of what they're doing. And I think those are two very essential practices that can make learning more effective. And I'm glad to see that you're thinking about them. So those are my thoughts, Fajardo. Thank you very much. And it was really nice to see you through the video. And even though we can't interact directly, I've enjoyed recording this. And then I hope you enjoy the next 2 final weeks of the course. And say hello to everyone from Costa Rica, Pura Vida. Thank you. Bye-bye.